If you can run a set the size of Gladiator, I think you could give it a good go running the Roman Empire.
To be as big as it is, it has to be such a controlled environment.
8 cameramen then would come down here and go 4 and 4.
And yet somehow Ridley finds a way to keep it completely organic and spontaneous.
All right, this is what we're gonna do now.
This time around, the action unfolds 16 years after we closed the book on Russell Crowe's valiant Gladiator Maximus, who shuffled off his mortal coil at the end of the original Gladiator.
There was a big focus on the physical preparation for this film.
Remember why you're here! Gladiator 2, we're making history!
I've put these guys through hell.
There was a lot of very physical training. I got my ass kicked.
You can prep and prep and prep and prep.
One of the most striking scenes in Gladiator II is when Caracalla, who has become sole emperor after killing his brother, announces his right-hand man before a rapt audience of Roman senators. His pick? None of them, but rather his pet monkey, Dundus.
This is real. There's nothing like having the real thing. Everywhere you turn, there's thousands of soldiers with beautiful costumes.
To walk out in that arena for the second time was pretty amazing.
But before we get into more of these moments, today's trivia question: what year did the first Gladiator film release? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around till the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
You still got to kind of throw that away.
We wouldn't need a wire, I can take that out.
Do it.
And also, like, whatever genius idea Ridley's gonna throw at you.
I discovered that Paul's very fast and very brutal with the sword.
It's crazy, right?
Ridley Scott called, said, "Are you interested?" That was enough. He's a visionary. What he sees and how he puts it together.
The plot of Gladiator II centers on Lucius, the son of Lucilla, and Maximus, who as a child was forced to leave Rome. 20 years after the death of Lucius's father, Roman soldiers invade his home city, kill his wife, then take him into slavery.
So we shot it dry again on these things called SPMTs, which are multi-wheeled, multi-steering bases. It's like putting a thing on a massive skateboard with lots of wheels on it. And the guy walks along next to it, and he's got a joystick, and he drives it. The good thing about that is that if you do anything in water, water drifts the whole time. You set the camera up, set the boat up, put the guy in the water, and just the slightest breeze, everything goes like that.
Ridley Scott had been in talks to squeeze in rhinoceros into the Colosseum for 25 years. Back in 1999, when he was shooting his first Gladiator film, he talked to animal trainers about the possibility of bringing a real rhino onto his set, but was told the horned animals were too difficult to control.
When we started creating for Denzel Washington, Ridley was very inspired by the Orientalist painters of the 19th century, the Moorish influence that came with the Orientalists. And so we did a sort of split Roman, because as Denzel said, he didn't want to be different when he was trying to ingratiate himself with the emperors. So he started off more Moorish, as it were.
Then of course it was discussed the use of CGI. He talked to CGI experts to see if a digitized one could be rendered for the movie, but learned that the technology was budget-bustingly expensive.
Harry truly is an extraordinarily good composer. He stuns me with what he is capable of doing.
The music that I've written contains elements of Hans's original Gladiator theme. Sound that can be achieved and captured here is second to none.
The cast themselves have sat and talked about that particular rhino scene and marching into that arena, having tons of others watch you.
There's very few films that we'll see in this sphere.
I remember the rhino sequence, and I'll never forget it. You just looked over at us and you just went, so fun.
Yeah. Ridley whips up the cast and crew into kind of a frenzy.
It takes a director of a certain pedigree to be able to marshal all of these pieces. Ridley is that man.
Our emperor.
Various attempts at a sequel script had been launched over the years. Gladiator co-writer John Logan took an early crack at a follow-up, and a prequel was an idea.
0 - 2 we are now, till we shoot. Which means we got a hell of a lot of work to do.
We built a 5-story real Roman Colosseum. All the streets, all the buildings were full scale. This is real. There's nothing like having the real thing.
When that pitch was discarded, Nick Cave was brought in to try a more ambitious approach, a fantasy version in which Maximus returned as an immortal warrior who would reappear at major moments throughout history, all the way up to World War II.
150-foot-long Roman galleons going towards the wall. It's going to do a siege battle on the wall, but there's no water there. So but that for me is it gets the juices flowing and the brain ticking over. And I managed to find these fantastic plant movers from Spain, which are these like 20-axle, all rotating bases that move like oil rigs around, and they all bolt together.
As I share my excitement for this film, I want to mention we are currently doing a giveaway. Share what you were most excited for with this project, and the best comment will win a $25 Fandango gift card where you can purchase a full movie with added bonus features. Comment down below and one winner will be chosen.
I've had some training with swords before, but not like this.
Surprised the hell out of me because he can be really violent.
The attack's fucking perfect.
Ridley has an extraordinary team. They're absolutely committed.
Pedro and Paul got beat up by the best.
Another big hurdle was finding an actor with enough gravity to portray Maximus Jr., and it took a while before Scott landed on it Mescal. For a time, Timothée Chalamet was in the running, as was Miles Teller.
We were rehearsing a fight towards the end of the film, and I'm supposed to duck under a punch, but I think we were just going a little bit too fast for where we were at with the learning of it, and I ducked under, but the punch managed to catch me here, so I had like a cool little black eye for a couple of days.
But then, one night while Scott was binging the Hulu series Normal People, he saw Mescal and could immediately imagine the then little-known 28-year-old Irish actor in a codpiece.
You've got all of these moving parts happening.
Give me something all the time.
And his ability to create these dynamic worlds is pretty extraordinary.
Commit to doing it. You want to commit? Do it now.
Yeah. Let's go again. Or every challenge that the world of cinema throws up, he spanned analog into digital, into multicam. He's done it all.
Wick and co-producer Lucy Fisher met with Mescal over lunch to assess whether he could handle such a physically and psychologically demanding role, which they later decided he could. And already they are discussing another sequel as usual. This last September, Scott revealed that he was developing a script for a third film, and that the realization depends on the reception for the second installment.
This set is really the size of a small town. There's an uptown and a downtown, several back streets. There's the bad neighborhood.
There is something so incredible about these sets. Both huge and in very personal context.
The filmmaker stated that the next movie would explore the character's realization that he is now tasked with a continuing reputation that he does not want.
If you give it a deep aperture as well, you'll get really good black shadows. And I wanted that. If you're shooting a shot with a lot of depth in, close up of me, and your aperture's too wide, that becomes mush. You want to see a bit of detail back there. You don't want to just have swimming out of focus, nothing. So shooting deep with standard one camera, Alexa LFs, and just zoom lenses, that was it.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, the first Gladiator film premiered back 24 years ago in 2000.
Arthur Max is at the top of his game. You really see the detail and its mastery.
All of these are going to be up in the niches of the Colosseum. The creation of the ancient world. It's a team sport. There's all different departments who are on the first one working with me.
But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all these moments? Which one was your favorite, and what did you like most about this film?
Ridley creates these extraordinary characters with emotionally compelling storytelling. He amped up the spectacle even more. I was just so blown away.
There's an energy on a Ridley Scott set that is thrilling. It was madness.
Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
The way I work with the strike, I use that to finish the 90 minutes on Gladiator. We're done. So I'm going to go back and finish off before Christmas. Then I'm already wrecking prep for my next film, which I'm doing in next March or April. I've cast it, written it, and we're doing it next. I've already prepared it. So I'm always in prep slightly ahead.